What is going on, guys? The Inside the Blue podcast, and today breaking down the Rangers' Game 2 victory over the Florida Panthers in Game 2. Electric atmosphere in MSG. Huge win for the New York Rangers as they needed this one badly after a sloppy Game 1, which we broke down in the previous episode. Don't forget to check that one out, but this was a much-needed win for the Rangers, and I thought they played way better than they did in Game 1. They were much more crisp with their passes, better shots, I felt, on Bobrovsky. I thought they tested him a little bit better. I still want to see more, but I felt like the power play is something that still needs to probably be worked on. I think if that thing starts to get clicking like it was in the first series against the Capitals and the second series against the Carolina Hurricanes, this could be a really dangerous team. And Florida's a team that has a very good penalty kill, and they be really aggressive on you. So I think sometimes I feel like that's an advantage for the New York Rangers because I feel like they do pass the puck really fast, and I think they could really work on that a lot in practice and pregame and all that. But I feel like everyone really stood out a lot more. I feel like I saw Panarin get more into it. I feel like Mika Zibanejad had some really good shifts. I thought Matt Rempe addition was solid. I know I was kind of iffy on if he's really going to play well, and if it does go to extra periods, how are they going to really utilize him? And hey, this game got to overtime, and he did get a shift, right? He did get some offensive shifts and just shifts in general in the third period, and I know the guys at ESPN kept mentioning, is this going to be bad for Matt Rempe and the New York Rangers, and should they have not scratched Capo Caco? Capo Caco was playing bad. Capo Caco had 2 points in 11 games. And I know he's not on a line that is going to really produce, right? Wemberg and Cooley, two guys that aren't known for putting the puck in the back of the net, at least in their terms of being a Ranger. But Capo Caco wasn't playing good in general, and the Rangers saw that, and they felt with the guy Matt Rempe who can make probably a better impact than Capo Caco, they decided to do that. And with Matt Rempe in the lineup, they are very, very good in the win-loss category. I want to say they're 23-3 now with him in the lineup, so probably expect them for Game 3 as well. But really solid victory for the New York Rangers. I thought they did a lot of things well. I thought their penalty kill was okay. Obviously, they let up their only goal on the penalty kill on a Carter Verhaeghe shot where Shesterkin was screened. But, hey, Shester was unreal. They say it every time after every win. Shesterkin is locked in, and he really wants to defeat Sergei Bobrovsky and the Florida Panthers. Getting really to the goals, right? Trocheck and Goodrow getting the goals. Trocheck one simple tap-in, but a little extra curriculum with that goal after Lafreniere laid a huge hit on their defenseman that led to Fox giving it to Vinny Trocheck. Really good play by Fox, and Fox is also a guy that hasn't done a lot, in my opinion, in the playoffs. I thought he's played okay, and he is battling an injury. I think we all could understand that. No goals in a while for Adam Fox, so maybe we get a Game 3 Adam Fox anytime goal, but I thought he still is their best defenseman on the power play, and he's still going to play that role. And I think with Adam Fox, I thought he played a really good game in Game 2. The play to Trocheck was simple. Fox is the guy that holds onto the puck longer, and that's what confuses goalies, and then he just passes it right to Trocheck. Bob was flat-footed, couldn't get across in time, and really I don't think any goalie could get across with that amazing pass, and that's how the Rangers got their first goal, and it was early. I want to say it was like four minutes into the hockey game, and the Rangers were up 1-0, and they didn't do that at all in Game 1. They didn't score, so to get a goal early on Bob was magnificent, and that is what I preach, is early goals for the New York Rangers to get off to a solid start. And I think that's just what I liked about this game is early starts, early and often. They did really good in a lot of categories. I thought they actually dumped the puck in better than they did last game. I'm still confused with the dumping and chasing on the power play. I feel like walking it in isn't a bad idea because Kreider isn't always going to get to that puck. And that has to be accepted by guys who dump the puck in, like Panarin, like Fox, like Zibanejad. Um, I feel like you have playmakers that can get into that zone and do good enough to set up in their zone without any dumping and chasing or anything like that. So that's really the only thing I have that's a big critique to the power play that I would like to see differently. Skating to the zone, maybe a chip off the boards, but I feel like rimming it all the way around at the red line. Florida's really catching on to that, and they're just dumping it out. But as bad as the power play was, they scored 2 goals on 5-on-5. That's what we like to see. Overtime goal from Goodrow and then Trocheck, of course, both 5-on-5. But I want to say they were like 0 for 4 on the power play. Not going to get it done, especially when games are tight on the road and you get a power play to really change the game and you can't convert. It's kind of tough. I mean, they're playing a better goalie, they're playing a better defense, a bigger defense, and a physical team. I mean, there were some big hits in that game, especially from Lomberg. I mean, he laid Mika out. He laid a hit on Jimmy Vesey, where we'll get into Jimmy Vesey's status. Lomberg was all over. I mean, he had a really strong move to start the game. Shesterkin denied it, didn't give him much to shoot at. Later in the game, he had another chance like that, shot it right into the glove of Shesterkin. But the update on Jimmy Vesey, he's week-to-week status, so he could be out for a while, which kind of sucks because I thought Jimmy Vesey's been okay, and he does get on the forecheck really well. But I think that only means that Matt Rempe's going to stay in the lineup until Vesey's out. I think really when it comes to projected lines, it's going to be your normal Hedel, Kreider, and Zibanejad. It's going to be the Panarin, Trocheck, and Lafreniere line. I think your third line is still the same, kind of with Cooley, Wenberg, and Roslovic. And Kako, of course. Cooley, Roslovic, Kako. And then your fourth line is Goodrow, Rempe, and I'm blanking on someone. I don't know why. Oh, it's going to be annoying. I'm blanking on someone. Oh, and Kako. Completely messed that up. So Kako's going to be on a line with Goodrow and Rempe. But, like, the thing with Capo Kako is I don't know if he deserves to be on that third line. I mean, you could bump Cooley back down to the fourth line and have Kako with his same line. But I don't know if Kako really deserves minutes right now. He hasn't really shown me enough to say that you could play in the top 6, obviously, or in the bottom 6, really. I mean, I'd be shocked if he's scratched for game 3 and they have Brzezinski play the fourth line. But I feel like this could also help Kako, and maybe he has a strong game 3, maybe has a point in the game, or something. Because anytime you do get scratched, it is a mental thing, and people don't particularly like it. Obviously, they don't like to be scratched. They want to stay in the lineup, especially when you're winning. So I think that's something that Capo doesn't like, really. But when you don't play good, you're not going to get minutes. And that's the thing with Capo Kako. In terms of the end of the third and the overtime, I really liked how this team responded. I don't know what Laviolette said to them, but that overtime, they were buzzing. I don't think Florida had that many high endangered opportunities in overtime. And I saw Barclay Goodrow and his line and all the lines that played in that time and overtime buzzed. They were rolling, dumping the puck in and chasing and just fighting their way to get a goal because they knew how important this game was, because there has only been one team that has lost the first two games at home and found a way to win the series. Other teams are 0-19. So, I mean, 1-19 when teams lose the first two and win the other ones. But the last time that happened was 1945. The Detroit Red Wings got it done. I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad this series is tied. And I feel like game two is something that we're really just going to see how game two is. It's going to be physical, a lot more scrums, tight play, and obviously great goaltending from Bob and Chesty. So that's nothing new. But really solid win for the New York Rangers. Barclay Goodrow getting it done, and I didn't have him as my goal scorer to win it, but he's done it before. That's what he does. He scored a game winner with San Jose to beat Vegas. He gets one done to beat Florida, and it was a nice shot too. It was right off the stick right away from a saucer pass that found a way on Goodrow's stick. There was a little bit of a review if it was a high stick. I was getting a little worried because I feel like if that was called a no goal, that game wouldn't have ended until like 12:30 at night. I mean, but a really good win for Barclay Goodrow and the Rangers. Got to keep the motivation going. Got to keep the momentum heading into Florida. And another thing is with home ice advantage is I don't know if it's going to play too much into effect, because anytime I see Rangers play the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers especially, a lot of fans show up. We have a lot of fans in Sunrise, Florida, and the state of Florida, and we have a lot of fans in Raleigh, Raleigh, Carolina. So I don't know if it's going to play too much in effect, but we know the place is going to be loud. I know it's not going to be as loud as MSG, but to win Game 3 is just to play basically how you played in Game 2 and just a little bit more fight. Kind of how you played in overtime. So if you play as well as you did in overtime, I think the Rangers have a really good shot at winning Game 3, going up 2-1 in the series, and the bare minimum splitting in Florida. So I think that's another thing to take into account. Another thing that I do see, this is just for me, not really from a stats perspective, just when I watch. Anytime Artemi Panarin is in Sunrise, Florida, he tends to score on his best buddy. So for any of you bettors out there, maybe sprinkle a little coin on a little Artemi Panarin anytime goal scorer. Hasn't scored in a while. Last time he scored was, I believe, the overtime winner, if I'm not mistaken, in that Game 2 against Carolina. So a bit of a cold streak for the bread man. Maybe he gets one done. Maybe Jack Roslovic puts one in finally. Hasn't scored in a while for him either. I'm just sprinkling out names that can maybe score. Maybe a Capo Caco revenge game. Maybe a Matt Rempe goal if he plays. I assume he plays, but yeah, that's going to really wrap it up for Game 2 and a little bit of a Game 3 preview. Of course, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and of course, take a comment below who's going to score tonight. The game is at 3 o'clock. I'm recording this at 1:26 on the day of game day. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it. Let's hope the Rangers can squeak a win in Florida and beat the Cats. But anyways, I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace.